Who are ASTRO toilets? For a long time, we have been asking this question because ASTRO toilets are very different from other toilets. They have ultra-powerful technologies and weapons, move at hypersonic speeds, and in principle do not look like ordinary Skibidi toilets. This is a pretty popular and complex question, so today's video will be mega epic and informative, as you'll soon find out how the ASTRO toilet from part 1 of episode 70 was able to steal Titan's tween ability. Why is G-Man actually an ASTRO toilet? Where did all the Skibidi toilets come from? And why are they even at war with the agents? And of course, I'll tell you who the ASTRO toilets are and how they're going to destroy the entire planet. Iron Cameraman is at the microphone as always, and I promise you're going to love today's theories. So, as always, give us a like and subscribe to the channel with a bell, make some tea and grab some cookies, and here we go. First up, I'd like to discuss ASTRO toilets. Who are they anyway? Where do they come from? To answer that question, it's worth looking back at episode 60. As we know, that was the last time we saw ASTRO toilets, unless you count episode 70, the first time we saw a fake scientist and, most importantly, the betrayal of ordinary Skibidi toilets. Now you're going to ask me, so why the regular ones? After all, it was the ASTRO toilets who attacked G-Man and wanted to kill him, wasn't it? It may be quite difficult for you to understand what's going on. So before I do, let me tell you about the Skibidi hierarchy. So, we have several rungs in our pyramid. The first and lowest are the ordinary Skibidi tots, the cannon fodder. They were created solely to fight agents. Slightly higher up are the engineers and scientists Skibidi toilets. Not to be confused with the chief Skibidi scientist. Engineers are in charge of developing new technologies, improving Skibidi toilets and other things to win the war against the Alliance. The third rung is much more interesting. This is where we have G-Man stands, and he is none other than the envoy of the ASTRO toilets. Yes, you heard right. G-Man is, in a way, an actual ASTRO toilet, only much less powerful. But what makes me think that? This is where the very first episodes of the Skibidi series come to the rescue. Back in the very first episodes, we are shown that some Skibidi toilets can levitate, the key word being some. Not all Skibidi toilets can fly, and this can be easily understood by looking at all the subsequent episodes. We see various propellers and jetpacks attached to toilets, and without such gimmicks, no one can fly. Unfortunately or fortunately, most of these toilets were exterminated. But how could they levitate? The thing is that all the flying toilets, including G-Man, are inferior ASTRO toilets and were sent to Earth, most likely for the purpose of conquest, but more about that at the end of the video. It's clear with the others, but why is G-Man also an ASTRO toilet? Perhaps someone hasn't noticed, but we've already seen G-Man flying in, say, episode 20. But this begs the question, then why can't the rest of the Skibidi toilets levitate? The answer is simple, because they weren't created to be ASTRO toilets, but rather flying, i.e., G-Man like Skibidi, to make it easier to counter the agents. It's not like they're going to go up against all the agents themselves, so it's easier for them to rivet new minions, to do all the dirty work. So now we know that G-Man is the only surviving inferior ASTRO toilet, and that he was the one put in charge of the operation to take over the Earth after the rest of the G-Men died. But the last plus or minus 10 episodes have shifted his position a little lower, and now only the scientist stands above the G-Man among the usual Skibidi toilets. The Skibidi scientist occupies the fourth step of the pyramid, but he stands on it quite recently. His promotion was influenced by the situation in episode 57, when G-Man not only lost in a battle with the Chamberlain Titan, but also lost an ally, an infected Titan speaker. We can further assume that after his defeat, G-Man flew straight to the scientist's base. The scientist foresaw that ASTRO toilets, who were tired of constant losses, would soon overthrow G-Man and put someone else in his place, so he decided to outsmart everyone. He offered G-Man a way to survive. In exchange for power, G-Man agreed. So the scientist created a fake version of him and sent G-Man himself to hide from the ASTRO toilets and improve himself. When the ASTRO toilets arrived, they were in for a surprise in the form of a revolution. The scientist took the role of G-Man, and chased the ASTRO toilets away, as if to say, you can get lost and report to your boss that we can do it without you. Those two ASTRO toilets, who incidentally occupy the fifth step of the pyramid and are the caretakers and reporters of information about the situation in the war, they did just that. These toilets inform all the events of the war to the ASTRO Colonel, the higher Skibidi Toilet. He occupies the sixth step of the pyramid. And yes, that is exactly the toilet from part 1 of episode 70. His job is to oversee the entire war, trying to win it. Normally, these toilets sit on the base and give orders, but apparently, after the scientists' loud comment, the Colonel decided that since the regular Skibidi toilets had given up their ASTRO race, there was no reason for them to live. Now he has taken over the operation himself, but now his main task is to completely destroy the Earth. Now, as promised, let me tell you a little about the Skibidi Colonel's weaponry. In part 1 of episode 70, when the Colonel first appeared, the Titan TV man tried to kill him with his blade, but the ASTRO Colonel in turn dodged the blow and snatched the sword from the TV man, and then, after spinning the weapon around a bit, threw it back at the Titan. Not long ago, I didn't really understand why the ASTRO Colonel hadn't decided to keep the sword for himself. When the cameraman Titan shot at the ASTRO Colonel, the latter caught the energy charge with his claw and, unwinding it a bit, fired it back at the cameraman Titan. Notice that the ASTRO Colonel catches 2 charges but shoots the Titan with 1. Couldn't that mean he took the energy of the projectiles and then simply created the same charge from that same energy, just one and more powerful? It's possible. And what if it is by unwinding his claws that the Colonel absorbs, or vice versa, throws out energy? That's most likely the case. And here lies the answer to the question of why the ASTRO toilet did not take the blade of TV Titan. If you look closely at the moment of throwing the blade at the TV man, you can see that there were still some sparks of energy from the sword on the claw for some time. Yes, you heard me right. He just stole Titan's blade ability. And now that he has the ability, the sword itself is no longer needed. When the ASTRO toilet fired a charge into the cameraman, there was no energy around the claws, because he just does not need the usual energy charge but the ability of the sword, that is, to make the devices glitch, interested the ASTRO Colonel. And it is this ability that makes him one of the strongest characters at the moment, because the ASTRO Colonel can now easily pick up and copy almost any ability of agents, from paralyzing cannons cameramen, ending with a laser from the core of Titan TV. But of course, there are always bigger fish to fry. Let's say the higher ASTRO toilets that occupy the last, 7th rung of our hierarchical pyramid. As a rule, such toilets are not particularly interested in certain wars because they are likely to take over not only the Earth, but the entire universe. The higher ASTRO Colonels sit at the main ASTRO toilet base, and through the Colonels control all the battle points at once. Well, we're done with the hierarchical pyramid, and now you have a better understanding of what's going on in the series. It's time to ask and answer the most important question of this video. Why do the ASTRO toilets want to destroy the Earth? And what happens if they succeed? Let's start, please, with how I decided that the ASTRO toilets want to destroy Earth in the first place. Even from the very beginning of the series, we see the Skibidi toilets trying to take over Earth, and at first they even succeed, until the cameraman alliance comes in. Why didn't the ASTRO toilets come in and quickly take over Earth from the beginning? There are several possibilities. Maybe the ASTRO toilets didn't want to get their hands dirty, and they just wanted to dump all the dirty work of destroying an entire world on the lowest toilets. The second option says that this whole war is actually an ASTRO toilet experiment to test a new kind of ASTRO toilet, the G-Man-like ones. I like the third theory the best. What if, in fact, the whole war was designed to wipe out one single person, the Defuk? For as we know, he has powerful abilities and also knows much more than anyone else. And it is in order to destroy all the Skibidi toilets that the secret agent helps the Alliance and then gets to the ASTRO toilets. And so, 70 episodes have passed, the war has been going on for decades, and the ASTRO toilets take emergency measures. They decide to blow up the entire Earth, along with all the agents, the Skibidi toilets, and most importantly, the Defuk. I think that in future episodes there will be something similar. And if the ASTRO toilets succeed in destroying Earth, the agents will fly into space and fight against the ASTRO toilets on other planets. Okay? This is already from the genre of science fiction, and it is unlikely to ever be in the series, but to be 100% sure of this, you need to wait until the end of the series, and he, hopefully, will be very soon. And to always be the first to watch such bombastic videos, be sure to put a like and subscribe to the channel with a bell, and you will not miss any more of my new videos. I'll see you all later, and bye-bye.